What is up, everybody? Vital Syntax here, playing some Battlefield Bad Company 2 on the PC live commentary. And in today's video, I want to be talking about, well, I don't think I've ever driven one of these boats before in this on the PC version. This is kind of weird controls. Anyway, in today's video, I wanted to talk about what we know so far for Battlefield 3. And all of this information is coming directly from the Battlefield 3 official forums hosted by EA. And if you go on there and you go under the general section, you'll see a post towards the very top. I believe it's probably the first post, entitled something along the lines of what we know so far, and it lists a bunch of information. So I'm actually just reading directly off that post, so all credit goes to, I don't know, whoever posted that originally. But anyway, whoa, what's up? That was strange. Anyway, the first thing they've posted is obviously Battlefield 3 is going to run on the Frostbite 2 game engine. That's something we've kind of already known. I think everybody knows that. Next thing is release date, which is October 25th, 2011. We don't know about a beta as far as dates yet. All we know about a beta is that they are going to have a beta, an open beta, before the game is actually released. Let's see if I can get... Oh, shit. It's like 4 guys there. The next thing is 64 players on multiplayer for the PC, 24 players multiplayer for consoles. There's going to be a full single-player campaign, which is new to the Battlefield series. Yeah, they had single-player in Bad Company series, but this is the first single-player game or mode that's going to be in the Battlefield series. Battlefield 2 didn't have a single-player, and it was just a multiplayer game. The next thing is co-op campaign. They've announced that they're going to have some type of competitive or cooperative way to play the campaign. We don't know if it's just 2 people or it's going to be like 4 people or even more. And we don't know if that's going to be online or just offline split screen. And we'll have to wait for those details. The next thing is there's going to be air, land, and sea vehicles. So that's something we've already seen in the previous Battlefield games. You know, you got the jets, the helicopters, tanks, Humvees, boats, every type of vehicle that you can imagine is probably going to be in Battlefield 3. The next thing are the factions that are in the game. You've got the PLR, which was a faction that we saw in the single player. We don't know if it's going to be in multiplayer. You've also got the USMC, which was in single player and in multiplayer. And the last faction was the the Russian Spetsnaz, which we saw in the multiplayer. Also, we've got Prone coming back, which was a feature that was removed in the Bad Company series, but was in Battlefield 2. And there's various reasons why they removed it, and there's various reasons why they're bringing it back. I won't go into the details on that. Personally, I think it's an awesome thing that they're bringing it back, especially with the ways that they've kind of countered the problems that it originally had or caused the game to have. The next thing is, let's see here. It's not going to be compatible with DirectX 9. If you're a PC player, you probably know what that is. If you don't, then that's Microsoft's rendering system. I'm actually not even sure what it is, but that's what my guess is on what it is. So if you've got an older graphics card that doesn't support DirectX 10 or DirectX 11, you'll probably have to get a new one. The different locations that the game's going to take place is the US, Middle East, and Europe. There's going to be a collector's edition that will be released. We don't have any information about what's going to be included. Let's see. There's going to be massive destruction. This is something I've already talked about in some of my previous videos. It's going from macro to micro destruction, allowing you to take out cover bullet by bullet, and that's something that we saw in the Jimmy Fallon PS3 gameplay that they showed. Let's see. Mount your weapon on most terrain. They haven't. I don't think we've seen a trailer on this or gameplay on this, but they have announced that if you have a bipod, you'll be able to. Let's say you have a light machine gun, and you have the bipod on there. You'll be able to walk up to a ledge and mount your weapon on that ledge and use that ledge as support for your weapon to increase the accuracy and allow you to give cover fire more effectively to your teammates. So I think that's awesome. You'll also probably be able to use those while in prone, I would guess. Crap. Let's see what else we got. The Back to Karkand expansion pack will I should know more about this. Basically, it's a pack of. I think they said there's gonna be. I know there's gonna be maps, but I also think that they said something about weapons and, equipment and vehicles and stuff. And the Back to Karkan map is gonna be free to anybody that gets the limited edition version or pre-orders it, or you'll be able to purchase it later on, I believe, once they've released it as DLC. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be similar to Vietnam, like we saw in Bad Company 2. It's not just going to be an add-on, it's going to be a whole expansion pack. Next thing is upgraded weapons and field of view system. Don't know too much about that. Next one is deeper bullet drop system than Bad Company 2. So in Bad Company 2, things like the rocket launchers and the snipers had bullet drop. So at long ranges you had to aim above and worry about travel time and all that stuff. So basically in Battlefield 3 is going to be expanded. I'm pretty sure the majority of the guns, if not all of the guns, are going to have some type of bullet drop, which is awesome. It adds to the realism, and it also helps balance out things like sniper rifles and submachine guns that maybe it shouldn't be. Snipers should be really good at long range, but it should be more difficult to get that shot, or submachine guns maybe might be harder to use at longer ranges. And these guys are just already all over our base. Let's see here. Next thing is drag wounded soldiers in single player only. This is something we saw in a couple of the trailers where you could, walk up behind a downed enemy and, excuse me, and grab him by the shoulders, I guess, and pull him back to cover where you could then revive him. This is awesome. I think it's going to be. I wish they would have brought it into multiplayer, and they haven't. I don't think they have announced if it's going to be multiplayer or not, but we know for a fact it's in single player. Multiplayer has kind of yet to be announced. I personally think it'd be really awesome because trying to revive people out in the open can be kind of difficult, especially if it's a longer revive time than what we saw in Bad Company 2, which was basically instant. Let's see. Better optimization for 64-bit processors, obviously from the PC, then this will pertain to you. If you're a console player, don't worry about it, but most PCs nowadays are 64-bit, so they can take advantage of more than 4 gigs of RAM. And there's going to be better optimization for that new way of processing computer whatever. Next thing is more unlocks and more content that Bad Company 2. One of the flaws of Bad Company 2 was that once you hit about level 25, you could have easily unlocked every single weapon in the game, as long as you were spending time in each different kit. And that was a problem, because then you've got 25 more levels to go without unlocking anything, which can kind of make the game, a little more boring, a little bit slower. So I'm glad that they're. Oh, that's a good guy. Oops. I'm glad that they're spreading the unlocks out and probably going to have more of them in general, so that you won't get as bored as quickly and have more content to unlock. As far as the kits that we're going to have, we've got the Assault, Recon, Support, and Engineer. It's a little bit switched up from what we saw in Bad Company 2. Bad Company 2, you had the Medic, and the Assaults, Engineer, and Recon. It's similar, but what they did is they switched the Support and the Assault. So Support is now going to be basically the Assault class, so Support will allow you to drop ammo and use light machine guns. And the Assault class will allow you to revive your teammates and use assault rifles. So it's kind of a mix between those two. And I haven't really thought about that too much. I don't know if that's going to be a good or a bad thing. It's probably good if they changed it that way. Battle Recorder hasn't been announced yet, but we're all kind of hoping for it. They've said that they're going to try and support esports. So a Battle Recorder would probably be one of the features that they needed to include. Character customization, they have said that there will be some type of customization you can do it to your player. They haven't announced any more details than that. We don't know about kill cams. It might be there. No mod tools on release date, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to be released at a later time, but they won't be released when the game actually first comes out. Dedicated servers, I've talked about this in my previous video, on every single system platform. That's awesome. Selective fire. This is something we've seen in some of the trailers where you can switch from full automatic or fully automatic to just normal automatic with things like I think they did with an M4 carbine. Let's see. Blood effects. That's pretty obvious. Selectable grenades. So there must be multiple types of grenades that you'll have access to. Maybe that means smoke grenades instead of having an underbarrel attachment for assault rifles. Maybe we'll actually be able to equip smoke grenades and stun grenades or something like that, or flash grenades. I don't really know. But you'll be able to switch between whatever grenades are actually available. Let me take this guy out real quick. Oh, teammate did it. Suppressive fire or suppressive effect, suppression effect. This is something they've talked about, but I don't think they've shown it in depth too much in any of the trailers or anything. But basically, if you shoot near an enemy and bullets are whizzing by them or bullets are whizzing by you, your view is a little bit distorted and it kind of blurs things, makes it harder to see. I think it's gonna be awesome, and it adds a whole nother layer of teamwork because somebody with a light machine gun can take up a defensive position and provide covering fire, allow teammates to push up, and enemies are going to be very inaccurate and have a hard time killing your teammates. Conquest is going to return. We already know that. We know Rush is going to return. We've got the health meter or health bar you can see in the bottom right of most of the trailers we've seen or gameplay we've seen. You've got that bar of... Am I stuck here? Oh my god. I'll just have to commit suicide. I've had that happen before. I don't know. That's a weird spot. You get stuck sometimes. The health bar, it shows you how much health you have, which I personally like because in Bad Company 2, it's kind of hard to tell how much health you have. It's actually very hard to tell how much health you have, and that can be kind of important. Squad leaders are returning. It's a little star next to the player. And they've also said that the commander mode that was in Battlefield 2 will be returning. But in Battlefield 2, the way it worked is only one person on each team of 64 players would be, or at least on the PC, 64 players, would be the commander, which they decided to scrap that and allow everybody to have the commander features. So whether you're a noob at the game and you don't really know how to use those, you probably won't take advantage of those. Or you're a hardcore gamer and you know exactly how to use those commander features, and you'll be able to have access to those whether or not. So let's see here, what else? 4-man squads, we've seen that in the trailers. My analysis trailer kind of pointed that out pretty obviously. Equipable and quick knife. This is something that they've talked about, and I think they've shown a couple of gameplay instances of this where basically there will be a button for quick knife, probably on the console to be R3, like Call of Duty, or maybe L2 like Bad Company 2, where you can quickly knife somebody, but it will be a 2-hit kill instead of a instant kill. And then they also announced that there'll be an equipable knife that you can actually switch to, and that will be a 1-hit kill. And if you get up behind them and do an assassination type of cinematic thing like we've seen in Halo or Killzone, that will grant you the enemy's dog tag. Man, I'm having a hard time playing and reading off this list. Let's see if I can get this guy. Oh, crap. Let's see what else we got. Sniper scope sway. This is something they've introduced to kind of prevent the sniper problem that was in Bad Company 2, although it wasn't a huge problem. But yeah, that's kind of controversial. I know some people really didn't like the amount of snipers that might have been on the consoles or maybe even on the PC, but they're adding sniper sway and also a reflection type of shininess to people's scope if you stay in one location for too long, which is awesome. Both ways will count. Both of those features will counter the number of snipers. Customizable dog tags is something they've announced. We don't know exactly what that'll be, but there will be a way to customize your dog tag, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so those are all the features that they have listed on this forum post. The next thing that they go through is all the weapons that we've seen, or all the weapons that have been confirmed in trailers or whatnot so far. So, starting at the top, we've got the M4. That's pretty obvious. You've seen this launch. The M16A4. The AK-74M, which is a modern version of the AK-47. We've got the AKS-70 or 47U, which is basically the AKS-74U, which was in Bad Company 2. P90, which we saw in Medal of Honor. The M240, the M249 SAW, the PKM, the Pecheneg, the G3, MP5, Dow 12, which is a shotgun, the Type 88 light machine gun, I believe, or maybe that's a sniper rifle. I could be wrong. Let me spawn in here real fast. The MK11, which was that sniper rifle that we saw in the trailers that they released for multiplayer footage. There we go. We've also got the SVD, the Dragunov, the RPG-7. Oh crap. The AT-4, the SMAW, don't know what that is, and then those are all launchers. Then we've got the M9 pistol, M2443 Gratch, the SIG-226 pistol, the ASVAL, and the MP60. So I don't know what those last couple guns were, but that's the list of all the weapons. Vehicles, we've got the LAV-25, the Humvees, the AAVP-7A1, don't know what that is either. UH-1Y, which I believe was a helicopter, the Su-37. The list kind of goes on, and there's kind of random numbers, and I'm not gonna keep going. But if you want a list of all of the weapons in their very long, complicated military names, and you can go to this forum that I was talking about and view it for yourself. But yeah, that's basically it. That was a list of features and things that we know so far about Battlefield 3. If there's any information that's released later on, I will be sure to make an update video and talk about any information we get then. Thanks for watching, guys. Sorry about the horrible gameplay. It's very hard to read and talk talk and play at the same time, but do my best. And if you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a rating, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.